Hey y'all, my name is Michelle. This is the beginning of my new YouTube videos that I plan on doing. Today I'm crocheting, and I have started this project where every book that I read, I take a picture of the cover of the book and correlate that to a granny square. These are the books that I have read. I'm 4 behind, actually. These are the books that I've read in 2025. And this is the last book that I crocheted a granny square for. And they go back. I understand the need for editing now. My daughter just interrupted me and I had to pause the video. So anyway, these are representative of the book covers that I have read since the beginning of January. I think I have like 15 here. 14. I have 14 here. And I am working on the 4 books that I read more recently and haven't had time to crochet. So that's what we're doing today. I'm attempting to crochet book number 1 of the 4 that I am missing. And I'm just doing just a simple granny square that I happen to have liked and memorized, which, my crappy memory, it's amazing that I can memorize anything at all. I wanted to start doing a video and doing YouTube. I've seen a lot of Pepperbox videos of people doing YouTube videos, and some of them are like super fancy. They get into like high-speed cameras that take, super slow motion videos in super high clarity. I don't know enough about those cameras. Right now I'm just using my iPhone and hoping it turns out okay, and hoping that my husband might have some good editing software and he can teach me how to edit, because I don't know how to do that. But I'm willing to learn, just like I learned how to crochet. I have been crocheting since, I don't know, September or October of 2024 on a regular basis. I needed a hobby. And there's only so many books and so much time that you can read. And sometimes I get a little frustrated with books. You read a fantastic book, and then everything else that you want to read after that is just garbage. Even though it's really not garbage, it's just sometimes the books that you read are just don't measure up right away to the book that you just finished. I struggle with that a lot. I listen to audiobooks and I read books on my Kindle through Kindle Unlimited. And a lot of the times it's kind of weird that I get 2 books that are very similar at the same time, and I'll listen to one while I'm driving, and I'll read a different book when I'm not driving, whenever I can fit it into my schedule. But it's funny how like some of them will be like both sports romances, or both hockey, or both brother's best friend kind of thing, or best friend's brother. And it amuses me how similar the books are that I read at the same time, read and listen to at the same time. It's just, I don't know how that works. If it's fate, or if I'm subconsciously choosing the books that are alike. I don't know. Something else that I want to mention while I'm rambling and crocheting is that in the last few years, I've gotten a little older, a little grayer. I like to spend more time at home than being out. But I've also apparently developed hot flashes. And this is completely new to me for the most part. I've only had them a few times over the last couple of years. But when they're here, they're here. And I get hot really, really easily. And I'm not normally hot. I'm usually very, very cold. You'll probably see me in a lot of flannels or a lot of sweatshirts. This is very rare for me to be wearing a t-shirt. But I recently just had one quick little hot flash right before starting this video, and it went away. So now I'm going to be putting my flannel back on. I like to be warm. I like to hide my little belly pooch too, but shh, don't tell anybody. I never thought that video and crocheting at the same time would be anything fun, but you know, it's not really about what I'm doing. I mean, it is. It gives me something to do while I'm talking. It also gives you guys something to watch while you're listening to me ramble on and on and on, which I'm honestly not very good at. My daughter's much better at rambling than I am. And there will probably be times when I completely forget to talk, and there will be times when I forget what I'm talking about. I'm really good at that. So just be aware that sometimes I'm just human, you know. In all reality, I'm mid-40s human that just started liking to crochet, and I don't really have anything better to do with my time. I work a couple of jobs. My husband and I have our own business making metal signs, and I wanted something that was just for me. And the way this all came about was kind of weird. My daughter went to her grandma's, I don't know, not very long ago, probably, it was almost a year before I started crocheting on a regular basis. And she was making a blanket for me, actually. And it was her first time really crocheting, and her grandma taught her how to do single crochet, which I thought was really cool. And she taught me, and I attempted to make my own blanket. I didn't get very far because I was using a lot of yarn doing a single crochet. And I'm like, there has got to be a better way to do this, because, you know, I wanted something that would fit on a California king size bed and, you know, have a little room extra on the sides. And my first attempt didn't go very well. It ended up very, very long, and making it wider was proving to be very difficult for me. I guess it could have been the other way. It could have been wide, and I was trying to make it longer, and I think I ended up using something like 24 skeins of the super chunky 6 yarn, and I'd put probably $300 into my yarn, and I was like, I can't keep buying yarn. I gotta find a better way to do this. And I kind of worked a little bit, and I think I started doing either double or half double, half single, I don't know, crochets, and it still didn't work out the way I wanted it to, so I put it off to the side, and right now it's just laying in a pile on my floor. But I ended up getting that blanket, I think for Christmas. Christmas of 23, I believe it was. And it's actually a really beautiful blanket. Her and Grandma did a really good job. This is the blanket they made for me. It's got some tie-offs that didn't get put in, but it's really warm and really, really soft. I'm into the whole softness thing. I don't like rough, scratchy yarn, and I'm allergic to wool, so I can't even work with that. But that's my blankie they made for me that started me on this interesting roller coaster of crocheting. I quickly learned after crocheting just a few times in like single crochets and stuff. I talked to one of my aunts, and she's crocheted and knitted my whole life, and she always makes us these tea towels with the crocheted loop that has the button that you put on your stove handle or whatever, and then she'd make what they call bra and breeches, and it's like 2 washcloths and 2 tea towels tied together to look like an old-fashioned brassiere with pantaloons, basically. And it's super cute, and I love getting those for Christmas from her every year. One year she decided not to do that, and I was like really, really sad. I look forward to that every single year so I can get new dish towels and tea towels, apparently, because they're more fun the way she does them, you know. Instead of just going to the store and buying them, you get this cute little outfit you can hang up on the wall and people ask questions about, and you get to tell them the whole bra and breeches story. So I really look forward to those every year. And when she stopped making them one year, I had to ask her, I was like, can you please make them for at least me? If you don't give them to everybody, I don't care, but I really like those. I really want to look forward to those every year. This is always one of the fun things that I have to try to figure out when I have to put it down for a second or two, trying to remember and look to see where I was, where I left off. Sometimes you have to undo it. I had to do that a few times. So I'm just sitting here, talking to you, making a video, crocheting, having fun. I like how relaxing crocheting is. But I really hate counting. I like the patterns like this, where you make like 3 double crochets and then chain 2 and then make 3 double crochets and then you chain 1 and you make 3 more double crochets, and you can always remember where you're at because the 3 double crochets, the 2 chains, and the 3 double crochets all go in the corner. Whereas when you get to the middle here, that's when you chain 1 and then make 3 more double crochets, and then you'll chain 1 after and go to a corner. I don't have to count 70 stitches. My brain does not work like that anymore. I can't seem to count that high and still remember where I was. Yes, I understand that they make stitch counters and stuff, which does come in handy when I have to count my stitches that high, but I usually just do that at the end. When I make a row, I'll count them, make sure I'm right. But I definitely can't count them while I'm crocheting at the same time. My brain does not multitask like that anymore. I used to have this, when I first started crocheting, I used to have this dream, and it still can come to fruition, I suppose. But I had this dream of traveling around the country in a trailer, small motorhome, something like that, and crocheting to my heart's content wherever I was, and, you know, taking pictures and sending the scenic pictures with whatever I'm making to whoever ordered it, kind of thing. Thought that idea would be really cool, but I'm a long ways from that. And I don't get to travel much right now. Working 2 jobs, got a teenage kid at home that is so much fun. And a business that my husband is trying to grow with my help. You'll have to excuse the background noises. My daughter's cleaning and or rearranging her room, and teenagers are loud. Normally when I crochet my granny squares for my books, I only do 2 colors because most covers have 2 primary colors. But this one had an extra color in it that I really liked, and I wanted to add that in there. Maybe someday I'll make a video about all the different books and all the different granny squares that I'm doing too. Crochet for the books that I've read, or that I have already crocheted for the books that I have already read. It'll probably end up being more of a slideshow than anything else, showing the crochet with the book cover. Live, or maybe not live video. I feel like I should have some music in the background or something while I'm crocheting, but that'll just give me something else to squirrel on. I don't know why my brain has developed into this weird pit of squirreliness and not remembering things. My husband blames it on perimenopause. I blame it on the fact that I have so much stuff going on that my brain can't compute anymore. My sister says her file cabinets are full when she can't remember anything or doesn't want to remember anything. She's like, nope, file cabinet full. Out of disk space. It's quite amusing. And she's 5 years younger than me, so if she's as bad as I am now, I can't imagine what she's going to be like when she's my age. Yeah, she just turned 40 this year. I can't believe my little sister turned 40. I don't even feel 40 most of the time, except when my brain doesn't work. then I definitely feel 40 or older. Sometimes I have to concentrate really hard on what I'm doing when I start a new row because of the way that I do it. I don't tie anything off. I just start with a new string. I don't know if it's right or wrong or not, but it works for me. And yes, I'm also very aware that I don't hold my string properly when crocheting. I'm sure that's going to be something a lot of people are going to pick on me about, but I don't care. It works for me. The only problem that I have with it, and if I do it right, it probably will alleviate the problem. But holding on to it like this with my finger tends to make my hand and arm go numb. I don't know why. So I try to only do like one granny square at a time, and make sure I got 3 there. Yep. I looked online and it said to, you know, crochet for 20 minutes and then rest for 20 minutes. Crochet for 20 minutes. I don't have that kind of space in my head to, you know, remember to time myself for 20 minutes. Oh, can't go over 20 minutes. And then to rest for 20 minutes. I lose track of time too easily, so 20 minutes crocheting could end up being an hour, and I wouldn't know any different unless I kept track of the time, which I don't. Time is not usually my friend, so I ignore it. I hope the audio is okay. I don't have fancy camera equipment. I used to, back in the day when, you know, I didn't have a kid and could afford stuff like that, but that was a very long time ago. And I do have a kid now, and teenagers are expensive. I want to go do this. I want to go do that. I want to go do this. Can I go to the movies? But she's pretty good about earning her own money by helping grandma and dad and whoever else do things around. Sometimes she gets paid for chores that she does that aren't necessarily her responsibility. But cleaning up after herself and cleaning her room are her responsibilities. She doesn't get paid for those. I don't get paid for cooking and cleaning my house. Why should I pay her? She needs to learn that you don't get paid for everything you do. Sometimes you have to do things that you don't get paid for because they're required. Like being a mom. Being a chauffeur. I don't get paid for that. A family chauffeur. I don't get paid for that. All the moms out there know what I'm talking about. Be nice to me in the comments, because this is my first video. I have no idea what I'm doing. But Matt from Demolition Ranch, who just retired from YouTube and Pepperbox, at least the Demolition Ranch channel, I think he's probably giving up most of it and spending time with his family, which I think is really, really cool. But he was talking about how, you know, if you want to be a YouTuber or whatever, the key is to just do it. Just start recording a video. And as things go on, you'll find your niche and things will get better. And So that's what I'm doing. I'm taking Matt's advice from Demolition Ranch and just doing it. Just starting. I don't know if it'll ever be fruitful or if I'll even be able to, stick with it. I'll probably make this one video and forget to make any more. Sometimes it's hard living in a house with a teenager to be able to have any time to do something like this yourself. I was going to wait until I could go on the road and, take pictures and videos while I'm on the road. But like I said earlier, I'm not there yet. I would love to be there, but I'm not there yet. Gotta wait for the kid to at least graduate. And I'm almost done with this granny square. You've managed to stick it out with me this far, which I thank you for and appreciate. Now I will try to take pictures and put together something so you can see the books that I am working on, that I've read, that I'm working on. I also have a couple other projects that I'm working on as well. I recently found on Facebook or Pinterest, I don't know where I found it. Could be any social media site that has crochet on it. A lot of people are making temperature blankets that basically you take like the high or the low or the average or whatever for the day in your area. And a lot of people I have found just make one row of the average or the high or the low temperature or whatever for the day. They make a row. And then the next day they make another row based on what the temperature was that day. And I thought, I don't like that idea. I think a temperature blanket would be really cool, but I don't like how they do it. I don't like the whole row thing. Again, back to the whole counting thing. I don't do well with the counting thing. My rows aren't straight. I know it's something I need to work on, but I found a better alternative, theoretically. It looks great in my head. My alternative is to make granny squares. And I'm using 2 colors for the granny squares for my temperature blanket. And it's the same pattern that I'm using now. So the temperature in the center will be the low of the day, and then the temperature outside of that will be the high for the day, and then it'll repeat. I will talk more about my temperature blanket in another video, and we'll see how that goes. You may get a completely unedited video for the first time. I'm not sure. I haven't decided yet. And I know my husband has put together videos from like his drone from years back, and he put it together with music and stuff, and they were really fantastic. I just hope he can do that with my video, and maybe we can put it on YouTube. So I am almost done with Granny Square number 15 for my books that I have read. And I did make a little boo-boo and had to go back a little bit. Turns out I didn't make a boo-boo, but I wasn't sure, so I had to go back and fix it just in case. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and I'm really sorry if you didn't. You don't have to watch anymore, I promise. But I did enjoy making this video and crocheting with you, and I hope that we get to do it again soon. I will do my best to ignore any bad comments, which I hope nobody decides to leave. I do look forward to and enjoy constructive, nice criticism. It is usually very, very appreciated, but, you know, don't be a troll. Life has enough trolls. We don't need them online too. I know that people think that the only way that they can voice how they really feel is, you know, secretly online, but I mean, come on, people. Let's just get along and be happy. And try to remember where I put my little thingies. Oh, it's in there somewhere. There we go. I don't know how everybody else ties off their threads and weaves them through, but this is how I do it. These are my favorite pair of scissors. My grandma had a pair when I was a kid, just like them. And when I got them in the mail from one of my many subscription boxes that I had ordered, I saw those and it made me think of my grandma. My grandma's been gone, shoot, 25 years now. She died in 1999, so 26 years, January of 2025 was 26 years. Oh, makes me feel old. But yeah, so those scissors reminded me of her and all the sewing that she used to do that I didn't get the sewing gene, but apparently I can crochet, so that is a little helpful, that I can do something productive with strings. So I'm going to show you again how I do this. So I put my needle in where I want my thread to go. Sometimes it's not easy, especially with this needle. It's got a couple of scratches on the tip. And then I take my closed stitch marker and I put it through the eye of the needle. And then I thread my yarn into the nice big hole. I take it out, strings in the needle, and you pull it through, and chop it off very carefully to not cut any of the other strings, which somehow I manage to do all the time, but have no idea how I do it. But yeah, I really like this way of doing it. I don't know where I came up with it. I'm pretty sure somebody didn't teach it to me, but it just made sense. I've always struggled with getting strings through the eye of the needle. My mom and my grandma were both seamstresses way back in the day, and you know, they tried to teach me to sew, and I was never very good at it at all. In fact, my mom, she did it professionally. She actually fired me from helping her 3 times. It was quite amusing. So, I still got a few more ends to tie in. There's 3 of them. But this is my granny square for my books. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being nice. Thank you for not being a troll. Have a good day.